G'day people and welcome, I'm Sharon. Big thanks to Wendy from the Janome Sewing Centre in Stirling Highway, Netherlands, who loaned me the 8004D for these tutorials. There are quite a few Janome machines that these tutorials relate to. There is a little bit of a difference with some of the older machines that I will explain when we get there when you're doing a rolled hem. Otherwise, most of it is actually the same and has been for about 40 years. On the right hand side of the machine I've got stitch length and I've got differential feed, which ranges from 0.5 up to 2.5. So let's try and get a basic understanding of differential feed. If you look under the presser foot of your overlocker or serger, you'll see that there's actually a front set and a back set of feed dogs. When you have your differential feed set to 1, they work together. When you have it set to 2, the front set works twice as hard as the back set. And essentially that means that it's pulling more fabric in at the front than it's pushing out at the back, which is a bit like doing a gather. This is really handy if you're sewing long seams on stretch fabric and the fabric is getting wavy and ripply. By increasing your differential feed a little bit, you may find that you can flatten that out and make it back to a nice seam. On the other hand, if you're finding that your seam is getting gathered up as you sew it, by decreasing, taking to a lower number, your differential feed, that makes the back set of feed dogs work harder than the front set. So it stretches things out a little bit. You can find that that helps on things like swimwear. I'm turning that to 2.5. I've got my stitch length on 3 and I'm just going to sew. So that achieves a slight gather. In fact, it might be better described as ease rather than gathering. If I want to make that a tighter gather, in addition to the differential feed, I'm also going to increase my needle tensions, which is the yellow and blue, and do it again. And the other thing I'm going to do is put my finger behind and stop the fabric from just feeding through. When I go to take this out, I don't want to pull from the back of it, I want to pull from the front part. And you can see that's a much tighter gather. Gathering, use your differential feed and increase your needle tensions. It also helps to have the stitch length made bigger. Janome also has gathering feet for the overlockers, and when you attach them it makes the whole thing even more pronounced. So if you're wanting gathering and it's not a heavy fabric, it's so much easier to do it with the overlocker than it is to try and use it on your sewing machine. Now I'm going to show you how I do a rolled hem with these overlockers. You'll notice that I do not take the left needle out, and there's a reason for that. If you are sewing with a fabric that has a loose weave and you do a rolled hem with only one needle, it is perfectly possible that the rolled hem will just pull away from the fabric afterwards because it hasn't got enough integrity to hold it there. By having 2 needles working on it, I get better integrity of the fabric and the rolled hem. For a rolled hem, set your differential feed to 1, set your stitch length to R, and set your lower looper tension to 7. On this side of the machine, press firmly and put the blade down. You can then press on this button across and move the red lever from S to R. When you go to put it back, you have to do all of that in reverse. If your machine is one of the older ones that does not have that switch to go from S to R, then amongst the accessories with your machine there was another needle plate. At the point when you have taken the blade down, you need to unscrew your normal needle plate and put in the one that's got an R on the back of it. Otherwise it's just the same. As I recall, you do still have to put the blade down and back up again. Certainly don't run your machine without the blade up. Always make sure you put the blade back up. So we need to press across and put it up. Whilst I'm over here, I'm actually going to move the blade as far across to the right as I can. Which is done with this turning it towards me. The reason I move that knife as far across to the right as I can for a rolled hem is that it gives me more fabric to roll. If you haven't got very much fabric there, you can get little bits poking out here and there in your rolled hem. It's less likely to happen if you have moved the blade all the way over to the right. You'll notice that I have not taken the left needle out. You certainly can do that. I generally do not. There's my rolled hem, and the only difference between that and what the instructions tell you is that I have still got the yellow needle in, the yellow thread in the needle in. In order to remove that line of stitching, which you certainly can do, you need to take the needle out, not just the thread. I'm perfectly happy to have it in there. You can do a rolled hem with both needles. On the back, because I've done it with both needles, you do get to see some of the green. To take this back to normal sewing, I need to put the blade down, push across and move this from R to S and let go, and then put the blade back up. I need to now move this blade a little bit further over to the left, and in fact what I'm going to do is take it all the way to the left. And I did that by pushing upwards. I need to take my green tension back down to about 3.5 and move my stitch length back up to 3. With the blade as far over to the left as I can make it go, we will stitch half of this. Now I am going to move my blade, which is this bit just in here, as far over to the right as I can make it go. With the blade over to the left, there are little bits of loops that are visible over the edge of the fabric. When I have moved the blade over as far to the right as I can make it go, the fabric actually starts bending inside the loops. There's too much fabric in there for it to fit inside the loops. There's not enough in here to fill them up. The cutter therefore becomes something you are supposed to adjust depending on your fabric. If you've got a very lightweight fabric, you need more of it to fill the loops. If you've got a very heavyweight fabric like a polar fleece, you need to cut more of it off. This is one of those things, people often think those little loops can be fixed with tension. They are nothing at all to do with tension and everything to do with where your cutter is. So what you're looking for is, depending on your fabric, you need to move your knife around to work out the right amount of fabric to fill the loops up so you don't end up with them open like that, but not overfill them. And overfilling them is easy to do if you're on something like polar fleece. I've got 2 layers of fabric here now. If I've got this correct, it should have the loops just going to the edge. When you've finished sewing, make a chain, take it to the back and forward over the cutter. There's a nice piece of overlocking. I should not see the green thread coming through on this side. I can just see the edge of it at the edge of the fabric, but it's not really impinging on the front. The red thread should be all on the front and not really visible on the back. I shouldn't have blue or yellow loops coming through on the back. That should be all on the front. If your machine's sewing fine and you want to change the colour of the threads, all you need to do is cut off the threads near the cones at the back, tie new ones on. If you do a reef knot, or otherwise known as a square knot, on the needle threads, sometimes they will even go through the eyes of the needle. Not always, but sometimes. I hope you've learned something about your overlocker today and feeling a little bit more friendly with it. They are fabulous machines and they really do last for a very, very long time. I'll see you next time.